Have you ever wondered what goes on inside the walls of an abandoned asylum? Beyond the peeling paint and shattered windows lie real stories of human struggle and resilience. Stories that have been silent for far too long. Today, we're stepping past the no trespassing signs to uncover the true history of these forgotten places, listening to the echoes of the past and the tales they have to tell. These aren't just spooky buildings. They were once homes, hospitals, and sanctuaries for thousands. Let's explore the real stories from abandoned asylums, separating fact from fiction and honoring the memories left behind. Before we delve into the haunting histories, it's crucial to understand what these institutions were. In the 19th and early 20th centuries, asylums were built with hopeful intentions. They were meant to be places of refuge, providing moral treatment and a peaceful environment for people struggling with mental health conditions. Architects designed them with grand facades, sunlit rooms, and sprawling gardens, believing that beautiful surroundings could help heal a troubled mind. For a time, for some, they did. But as populations grew and funding dwindled, these havens began a slow and tragic transformation. Let's start with one of the most infamous, the Trans-Allegheny Lunatic Asylum in West Virginia. Opened in 1864, this colossal stone structure was designed to house 250 patients. It was a marvel of its time, a symbol of a new, compassionate approach to mental health. Early records tell stories of patients tending gardens, participating in craft workshops, and even forming musical bands. There was a sense of community, a belief in recovery. However, by the 1950s, the asylum's population had exploded to over 2,400 people. The once spacious halls became unbearably crowded. Staff were overwhelmed, resources were stretched thin, and the intended therapeutic environment deteriorated. The story of Trans-Allegheny is not just about ghosts, it's a real, documented story of a system collapsing under its own weight and the human cost of that failure. It is a reminder of how quickly good intentions can go awry when not supported by adequate resources and oversight. Now, let's travel across the Atlantic to Pennhurst State School and Hospital in Pennsylvania. While not exclusively an asylum, its story is a critical chapter in the history of institutional care. Pennhurst was built to house individuals with intellectual and developmental disabilities. For years, rumors of neglect and abuse circulated, but they were largely dismissed. That all changed in 1968 when a journalist named Bill Baldini released a 5-part television expose called Suffer the Little Children. The footage was shocking. It showed residents, many of them children, left unattended in overcrowded wards, living in squalid conditions. This wasn't a paranormal investigation. It was investigative journalism at its most powerful. The report exposed the dehumanizing reality inside Pennhurst, sparking public outrage. The story of Pennhurst is the story of how the voices of the vulnerable were finally heard, leading to a landmark lawsuit that set a precedent for disability rights and the deinstitutionalization movement across the United States. It's a powerful example of how bringing the truth to light can create monumental change. It's easy to look at these places and only see the decay and the sadness, but within these walls, there were also countless moments of kindness and connection. Let's consider the story of a nurse who worked at Pennhurst State Hospital on Long Island. In her diaries, which were discovered decades after the hospital closed, she wrote not of monsters, but of people. She described playing the piano to calm an agitated patient, celebrating small victories like a man who spoke for the first time in years, and the deep bonds formed between patients who created their own families within the asylum's confines. She detailed the staff's frustration with the lack of resources, but also their dedication. These personal accounts are invaluable. They paint a much more complex picture than the horror stories suggest. They remind us that the history of asylums is a human history, filled with individuals, both patients and staff, who navigated an imperfect system with courage, compassion, and a desperate hope for a better tomorrow. The move towards deinstitutionalization, which began in the mid-20th century, was a response to the failures of places like Trans-Allegheny and Pennhurst. The goal was noble: to move people out of large, impersonal institutions and into community-based care settings, where they could lead more independent and integrated lives. However, the transition was far from seamless. The process was often rushed, and community support systems were frequently underfunded or non-existent for many former patients. Closing the asylum doors didn't mean freedom. It meant trading one set of problems for another, leading to issues like homelessness and a lack of access to consistent mental health care. The silent, empty buildings we see today are monuments not only to a past system of care, but also to the complex and ongoing challenges of supporting mental wellness in our society. Their stories didn't end when the last patient left, they just changed. So, why are we so fascinated by these abandoned places? Perhaps it is because they force us to confront uncomfortable truths about how society has treated its most vulnerable members. They are physical reminders of a history we might prefer to forget. But forgetting is a disservice to the thousands of people who lived and died within their walls. Their stories matter. By exploring the real history of these asylums, the good intentions, the systemic failures, the personal struggles, and the quiet acts of humanity, we do more than just satisfy a morbid curiosity. We honor the memory of those who were silenced, and we can learn valuable lessons about compassion, advocacy, and the importance of a mental health care system that truly cares. These buildings aren't just haunted, they're historic. What part of our history do you think is most misunderstood today? Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. The stories of these asylums are a crucial part of our collective past, and understanding them helps us build a more compassionate future. It's a reminder that mental health is a conversation we must continue to have, openly and without stigma. If you or someone you know is struggling, please know that help is available and you are not alone. We'll leave some resources in the description below. Thank you for joining me on this journey into the real stories behind these imposing structures. It's been a heavy topic, but an important one. If you found this exploration meaningful and want to uncover more hidden histories that have shaped our world, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel. Your support helps us continue to bring these important stories to light. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.